Jason, can you hear me? Good day, sir. How are you? Good. We've got the pre-show crew here. So let's see, there are about a half a dozen of them. I'm going to put the URL to the chat room in the chat utility here. And that'll just pop up a little message for you. There you go. You don't have to follow chat, but a lot of times it's fun to see what those rascals are saying. Okay. Well, Rudy finally figured out that he wasn't the guy, huh? So he said, I'm going to send Jason. Okay. Gotcha. I'm just teasing. Let's see. I'm trying to get your single picture. This is what I've got for you. I want to get that straight here. Get that organized. So let's do this. Just a little bit more. There we go. There we go. So we got that shot of you. And then during the show, let's see if we can't get a shot of you too. I'll show you what I'm playing with here. I'm trying to fill you in on the other side. Yes. What are you using for a mic today? Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, the big difference really is, and it's probably more of a house thing than anything else, is the surroundings. You know, I can tell it looks like a beautiful home, but you probably got what, hardwood floors, and so I can hear the echo off of that, echo off the ceilings. And it makes for just a little extra background. Let's see, hold on, let's see which capture is this one. There we go. Okay. Now let's work with you a little bit. And what do we need to do to get that off of there? We can try that. Oh yeah, yeah. Much quieter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. Okay, let's see what we need to do here. We'll zoom that just a tad. And then there. We kind of have to craft all of these shots depending on folks. Let's see what we do here. Is there any way that you can be just a tad further away from the camera? Because I need to get a little bit more of your body in the shot. So you're tethered. Yeah, okay. That's better. That's better. Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. That's going to be great. That's going to be great. Let's see. Let's go back there. So we got that shot is good. And then we'll go back to this one. And let's do a little less there. Oh yeah, that's going to work out really well. I think we're almost there. This is obviously the reason why I wanted to get you on a few minutes before, so that we 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock, excuse me, 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central. So we're about a half an hour out right now. Let's see. Well, let's see. What can we do there? Let's do this. All right. That's not bad. That's not bad. I can't see. Rich in the chat room is like, rascals, huh? Okay, yeah, that's, and of all the group, Rich would be the one. We've got a good group. Probably, I'd say there's probably 35 to 50 folks in all, but 25 would show up live any given day, and they'll be from all over, Jason. You know, probably half from the U.S., a bunch from Europe, occasionally. Okay. 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 Yep. And we'll get some South Americans and Central Americans. Every now and then we'll get some Australians on. Let's see. We've got somebody from Nepal that watches us. Yeah, Prashana's here. It's 1 o'clock in the morning for him, so it's a really interesting mix of folks, with the common thread, of course, being that people are really into live streaming, and so that's kind of the basic connector between all of us. Yeah. Yes, we're live now. We're live. We're in we're in what I call pre-show. Let's see. Let's go back here. I want to adjust something. No. Maybe I should leave well enough alone. The way the show's going to go today is I'll open up with a little monologue kind of thing and some announcements, and then we'll kick in. And I don't want to talk too much right now because I don't want to sort of steal your thunder, because the guys that are watching, that's that's why they show up early, because they want to see if they can't get some of this good stuff early. But we'll talk about the Facebook Live edition, and kind of anything. Did you get a chance to catch any of Rudy's show on June 22nd here? Okay. So kind of the territory you covered, and so if there's anything else new going on, let's kind of. Oh, you can't hear Jason. Okay, well that's important to know. Let's see. Okay, Jason, give me a sound check there. Yeah, that may be part of it. Okay, how about again? Okay. Well, there's no way they're gonna hear any secrets because they can't hear you. Let me get that tootled up here. We are going to send that to line 1. And check 1 2. Jason, can you hear me?
Check 1 2. I can hear you.
Okay, that should put you on with everybody else then.
Perfect. Hey guys.
Okay, very good. David, can you hear Jason okay? George, can you hear Jason okay?
Hey David. Hey George.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Very good. Very good.
Very good.
All right. Great. Yeah, we're. If you're watching the chat, our good friend George Price has had some challenges to his health recently, and we're glad he's home from the hospital and soon will be back on his own. It's good to have family there to take care of you. I know George is surrounded by family there. Who else we got? Bill's here, Prashana's here, Martin's here. Martin, I was going to put up a radar of the weather here because I know you'd feel right at home because we're just covered in rain. Martin's in England. Rich, Jens, 180, and Giles is Step Back in Time TV. So welcome all you guys. Glad to have you here. And Jason, feel free to log in to the chat room with whatever method you want. There's a little login button in the bottom left-hand corner.
Let's see.
And feel free to correspond with any of these guys if you want to share anything, any links or anything like that. Please feel free to do that. Want this to benefit you guys as much as possible. Really impressed with what you guys are doing. So we want it to be a plus experience.
Cool. Yeah, I have it up over here with my computer being a little bit away. I kind of have to, reach for it, but I can definitely see what people are saying.
Well, and what we find out, or what I find during the course of a broadcast, is I'm so fixed on, trying to make eye contact with the camera and maintain my workflow, follow my show notes, that unfortunately, guys, no offense, but I ignore the guys in the chat unless it's somebody's printing something in all caps which says, Tom, your mic's not working, or something like that. So it's nice to have those guys that will be there for that. But there'll be times when you're not on camera, so please feel free, do whatever you need to do. And I'll give you a pretty good run up, so you'll know when you're coming on. I'll begin to introduce you before I just pop you right in there.
Cool.
Let's see. Let me make sure I've got. Let's see. That's number 40. So we're gonna take that shot, and we're gonna add a lower third to it.
Right now, I'm working on the whole new outline for Switchboard Cloud that's getting close to come out. So I'm looking at all the different features and looking at our roadmap, and it's pretty exciting how close we're getting to everything.
All right. You got some dates that you can share when the time is right?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I have some dates. Pretty exciting stuff.
Great. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, Martin says he's got sunshine. Oh, my goodness. Martin, we're supposed to get, I think, somewhere between 5 and 10 inches of rain over the next 2 or 3 days. It's been immense. And Martin is in England and does a lot of event streaming over there. Let's see. George is in Indiana and has a studio in his home. And Rich that's Richard Rich, I don't even know how to pronounce your last name. It's Ignacio. Rich travels the country and does jet ski racing, and has a jet ski racing tournament almost every weekend. And I think he had 500,000 folks watch him on Facebook Live a couple of weeks ago. It was pretty amazing.
Oh.
He's done really well. John is in, oh, come on, John. Denmark, Sweden, Switzerland. Sorry. Step Back in Time TV is Giles, and he's in England. The wife is John's wife, so we're delighted she's here, and that all the guys behave better when they know there's a woman present. Let's see. Guest 422, welcome. Glad you're here. Merle Dixon is here. Merle has got a studio in his home. And I think Merle's in Indiana, too. Kent Kowalski is here, and Kent is somewhere in the Midwest. I never remember where, although it could be New England. Jens, I think, is in Switzerland or Sweden. Let's see. David is in England. John lives in Sweden, but he's Danish, and they both work in Denmark, so we got that back. Okay, well, no wonder I was confused. And Giles says they got terrible internet there due to rain. Hey, let me tell you about terrible internet. As of yesterday, I was getting 9 megs down, 9 megs up, thinking, oh, golly, I've got a show tomorrow. So I call them, and it's a company called Mediacom that does cable mostly, but they have the best internet around. Keep in mind, we're in southern Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
And
I lived in Birmingham for a couple years.
oh, really? Okay.
Traveled all around, so I'm very familiar with Alabama.
Okay. Well, we're right down on the Gulf Coast across from Mobile, a little town called Fairhope.
Okay.
And so I call, and I somehow I ended up getting straight through to tech support level 4, which for Mediacom is their top tier. And I get some tech that just knows his stuff. I mean, it was such a joy to deal with somebody that wasn't reading off a script and unplug the modem and count to 10. No. We've done all that stuff. Come on, let's go. And somehow he flipped a switch somewhere, and I'm getting 90 down today and 22 up.
Nice.
So that was much better, much
Nice.
better. And that's certainly better than we were getting years and years ago. Oh yeah, Kent's in Ohio near Cleveland. Okay. Cleveland Cavaliers. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see who else has popped back in here when we weren't paying attention. I guess that's it. How are we doing on time? We've got time. Let's see. I want to throw this up there. Can I do that? Yeah. That way I can kind of monitor our time, because we can chat like this and spend the whole time doing nothing but chatting and let the show time go by. There we go. All right. We're using software, Jason, called vMix, which is created by
I was going to ask if that's what you were using.
Yes, some crazy guys down in Australia.
Yep,
And,
chatted with those guys several times.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, you've probably talked to Martin or Tim. And,
Tim, yeah, we're working on with the release of Cloud, right? Some integration right into vMix, so it's just drop down in and simplify.
Ooh, don't talk about that yet. Don't talk about it yet. Merle, I got a note from Tommy in Alabama earlier today, and he said that he has to take his daughter to the airport, so he's going to miss the show live, but he's going to watch it later on YouTube. So I guess that's the best we get for Tommy. That way we can all say terrible things about him while he's not here, because he's not going to show up. It will be next week before he has a chance, and he'll have forgiven us all from then. It turns out this guy, Jason, lives, I don't know, 150 miles from here. Well, Alabama. He lives between Montgomery and Auburn. Reeltown, which is the general area
I'm familiar with.
And so he's stumbled over this show sometimes. So we have people that live practically right across the street, and then people that live all the way around the globe watching all at one time. John L., for this connection, we actually, the connection is rated at 150 down and 25 up, and we're getting about half down what we should get. Frankly, I don't care, but it's the upload that I want. And we're paying about $100 a month, U.S. Not, I think it's overpriced for what it is, but I'm delighted for what I can get. Yeah, Jens has got 90.94. Ooh, that's nice. Nice to have the 94 up. And what are we doing in terms of network usage today? Yeah, we're using quite a bit, because we're getting a high-def downlink from Jason and then sending him back. Jason, how does this look coming back to you? Is this high definition coming back to you?
I don't know. I mean, the quality is definitely good, but
It's okay.
to be able to see everything, I have it kind of minimized
Okay.
down, right?
Okay.
But it looks good.
Okay. Yeah. And from a show standpoint, no offense, but it doesn't matter what the guest sees as long as they have a sense of what's going on.
Absolutely.
It's what we're able to stream. And the setup today, Let me cut over to this other shot for just a second. This little laptop back here is a Asus ROG gamer's laptop that I got refurbed off of Amazon, and so I'm using the network device interface, the NDI put out by NewTek, to transmit all the video from the show to the laptop.
Is it easy to use? I haven't used it.
Painless.
Perfect.
Painless. Falling off a log easy.
Wow.
Yeah, just, I mean, if us guys in Alabama can figure it out, it's got to be easy to work with.
Falling off the log easy. Yeah, I wanted to try it just to see how it interfaces. Do you have to have, a piece on piece to be able to, send the protocol back and forth, or is it like, how does that actually work? Oh, wait, you install it on your computer and then that's what goes to your TriCaster at that point, right? That's how it works?
Well, in my situation, I've got a production PC running vMix, and then I've got this laptop over here running vMix. And so vMix talking to vMix is like the TriCaster talking to TriCaster, because vMix has done the same thing that they want to do with you guys. They've already done that with NewTek.
Gotcha.
They've gotten in on the ground floor of the NDI, and so they've got it in all their software. So their software does NDI automatically. All I have to do is go to my laptop, pull up vMix, go in, and it's almost like I'm looking for a camera or a microphone or something like that. Here's my feed coming from the main PC as a source. And in this case, excuse me, the source is carrying audio and video together.
Gotcha.
And so I send that to that PC, that PC, and it streams it and records it, and I'm basically able to do a lot more on this production PC because I'm not streaming and recording. I think right now we're running about under 30% CPU, but we're not. The only thing I'm doing is sending video to you and receiving video back to you. So it's pretty easy at this point. And then the PC over here is running about 10%, and right now all it's doing is streaming. And in just a minute, I'll use my phone to turn that guy on and start him recording. So it's not a complicated workflow, but it's I like simple. And simple is hard to break.
Yeah.
When things get complicated is when they break easily and are hard to troubleshoot.
Yeah.
All right, Giles said he was doing some testing. Turns out his 3G mobile is better for live streaming than his ADSL line. Well, I'm not surprised about ADSL. I don't know that they still have those here in the U.S. And John's got 100. Prashana has got a 9093 that pays $20 a month for. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's really cool. All right, so Merle has watched some of Giles's stuff. Giles in England, Merle in Indiana. I love this. Chris, Jason, I didn't grow up with an international mindset at all.
Yeah.
I grew up in Alabama. When you think internationally, you're thinking Louisiana, Georgia, Florida.
Sure.
We might even go up north, but to blow it all out and to start dealing with folks all over the world has just been a real treat. A real treat.
It is. I love that.
Martin Kay is here. Martin is in England. Martin Stuckey is here. Martin Stuckey is in, oh golly, I always get it wrong. I think it's Sweden. Chris is here. Chris is in either England or Poland. I don't remember which. No offense, Chris, intended either way. Oh, we got Chris and Chris Watts. Oh golly, now I'm in trouble. So you guys will have to tell Jason where you are. This is Jason. He's with Switchboard Live. Those are the folks that created Joycaster, and we're going to talk a little bit about that during the course of the show today because they've got some cool new stuff that they're doing. Many of the sports arenas here in Sweden have 100 and 100. That is amazing. Wow. Okay, Chris Watts is in Germany. Chris, you're watching us from Germany? I thought Germany couldn't get YouTube. Are you, or you must not be in Germany? Because we're streaming this on YouTube. We've just got it, we've got an embed on our website. And actually, by the way, the stream today, the YouTube stream, has about 11 seconds of latency from live, which is the fastest that it's had since I've been using it. So that's really cool. Okay, so Germany gets YouTube. All right, well, where did I have in my mind that Germany couldn't get YouTube?
I was going to ask you that. I've not heard of that at all. We have lots and lots of users over in Europe and Germany specifically, right? And they're watching and broadcasting all the time.
Great, good. Well, I feel much better. All right. All right, Rich broadcasts his jet ski races at 720p using a 4G Verizon MiFi. And Rich, your MiFi bill is like, what, $600 a month? And John's wife says it's so much easier to stream when you have proper speed. That is a fact. When I first started streaming, Jason, I was doing soccer here locally. We're just this little soccer mecca down here on the Gulf of Mexico. And we were streaming, trying to stream. We had a DSL line from AT&T that gave us, I think it was a meg down and anywhere from 300 to 400K up. And so we would stream at 200. Plus a little bit for audio, maybe 60 for audio. And it was horrible. It was horrible. But people watched because it was the only way to, it was the only way to see what was going on. And it was amazing. It was amazing. Okay, George says, I understand Germany, you can get YouTube, they just can't broadcast without a license. Oh, okay. Chris says they can't get a lot of music videos because of that. All right. Got it. Got it. That stuff you call football is fun to watch, but how can it be football? Let's don't even start. It's a cultural thing. We just have to accept certain things about each other's culture so we can get along on this. All right. Mike is here. Welcome, Mike. Glad you're here. Martin K., who is generally not, let's say he's just not outspoken in the forum, unless I make a technical mistake, and then he's very quick to assist me in becoming correct. Martin has been my mentor in video and audio for many, many years, and the intro that you'll see in just a few minutes is something that he created for me just for fun, and it turned out to be a keeper. And so I owe a debt of gratitude to Martin continually. He's in Manchester, and works a lot. Actually, used to design and build a lot of video PCs, and has kind of gotten out of that while I've gotten into it. So it's kind of funny how that works out. John says they have a lot of Germans unable to access their streams on YouTube in Sweden. Interesting. So, Rich, what are you paying? If you're watching it like a hawk.
1 second, I'm going to be back. I'm going to see if I can get some light.
Sure. Okay, Martin Stuckey says that YouTube Live is blocked in Germany. Well, this is YouTube Live right here, and Chris Watts is watching it. So, see, Martin, that's what I thought. So I don't understand. Event Tech from New Zealand, welcome. Glad to have you. Don't let the other guys beat up on you because you're the new kid on the block. And of course, there is a rule that whoever's the last one to get into the forum before the end of the show has to bring the refreshments at the end of the show. So don't be the last one. Yeah, Chris says he's accessing YouTube Live right now in Germany. And see, that's what I thought, Martin, is that you couldn't do that. But apparently somebody somewhere has worked out the details. And that's what we need. Oh, Henri is here. Good. Welcome. Glad you're here. And who else has slipped in when I wasn't paying attention? I guess that's it for now. And Martin K. The Streaming Idiots intro and outro were first made in the 1990s. Oh my goodness. Now see, that's classic. I love that. It's a classic. All right. Let's see, we got about 4 minutes. I need to do one thing here, 2 things here, and then we'll be ready to go. Jason, I'm going to cut away from you, and I'm going to drop your mic for now, but I will come back, I promise. So don't go anywhere. Okay, let's see, where do we want to go? Let's just go here for now. And let's turn him down so that he can say anything he wants in the background. And excuse me, I picked up I won't say it was a bug, but we had grandchildren for 5 days and then 5 days without them and then 5 days back with them again. So it was 60-year-old people can't keep up with 3-year-olds and 6-year-olds. Granted, you have to drug them or attach large weights to their ankles or something like that to slow them down where you can catch them. So in the meantime, I picked up a little something, trying to burn the candle at both ends. All right, let's get the ducks in a row. So we are going to turn off this. And I think that's ready. Look at this. We are going to start this show on time. Gee whiz, Jason has been a good influence on me. Tick, tick, tick. My wife is sending me an instant message. And let's turn the audio down on the phone. Okay. Is Edward here? Yeah, Edward, I just got your email. So I'll have to read it later. And we need to get that geared up. All right, so we got that ready. And the questions have started. Good question, Kent. We'll ask that to Jason in a little bit. All right. Doing good, doing good. All right, y'all behave. Be nice to Jason. And let's get this show on the road. We'll fade to black. And I'm going to drop my mic. And I'll be right back. Hello and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair, and this is Streaming Idiots. Yes, if you want to come get marginal information about streaming, this is the place to go. This is the place where you know that whatever information we provide to you, you darn well better test it before you use it, because it may not be worth anything. Now that we've got that disclosure out of the way, we can tell you all the good stuff. I tell you what, I am so excited about today's show. Number one, we have got a kick-butt guest in Jason Fulbrook from Switchboard Live, and I don't want to steal any of his thunder, so we're going to get to him in just a second. But there are a couple of things that you've got to know. Number one, this week, was it this week? Yeah, I think it was this week. If it was this week, maybe it was just this weekend or something. The new the Windows 10 anniversary update became available. And you remember last Tuesday was when the free Windows 10 upgrade ended. And I decided at, maybe 11:30 that night that I was going to go ahead and bite the bullet. Remember, I went to Windows 10 once before and it didn't do well, and I had to reinstall Windows 7. I couldn't just revert back. I had to reinstall. It was that bad. And so I decided, okay, I'll go Windows 10. I'll do the update. And started it, that night. It bombed out, didn't work. So I thought, well, okay, there you go. I've missed the free update window. I'm going to have to pay for it. So I just tried it again. But apparently somehow I got grandfathered in and got it and was able to do last week's show with it. And that went pretty well. And then this anniversary update came around. I thought, I've heard some good things about this. Some people have said that they felt they could feel the extra horsepower in their PC with the Windows 10 anniversary update. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and do it. Why not live dangerously? And so I did it last night. Don't ever do this right before you're going to do a broadcast. I promise you, it will screw up 50% of the time. So, if the feed suddenly disappears right now, if things just go black, whoops, no, I'm teasing. That was me going black. If things go black, that you want that to happen while you're testing, in that testing phase, not while you're in a production phase. And that's why I do it right before production, so that when it screws up, you understand, the consequences. And what was it? We had something go bad in a couple of shows ago for something I had done. Anyway, don't install an update the day before the show or the morning of a show. Now, Windows 10 doesn't make it easy to turn off all the updates. Apparently you can turn off the ability to install them, but you still have to download them, whether you want to or not. I'm trying. If you know how to turn that off, let me know, because I'd like to do that. I don't want something downloading right when I'm starting a broadcast. I was working on something Monday on a PC that I hadn't used in a while, and I needed to be able to do something right away. I turned it on, and it just bogged down immediately. Found out that it wasn't Windows that was updating. It was my Dropbox. Dropbox was getting all that crud that I'd thrown in the Dropbox for the days and weeks before, and this PC hadn't been used for a while, and so I was able to turn it off and then go do what I needed. But keep in mind that things are going to happen like that are going to take you by surprise. So try to avoid it when you can. Two other announcements. Well, one announcement, one tip. First of all, there is a exclusive vMix edition that's going to be released maybe in the fall. It might even be as late as Christmas, but it will be given. Only one person can receive it, and it will be actually given to them. It's the vMix Diamond Edition, and it will be an exclusive edition. You will be the only person in the whole world that will ever have it. And the way to get it is to watch the vMix Fun Time live show, because they have some keywords that you have to email to them. Now, if you missed the first one, go to YouTube, find the vMix channel there, and go back and watch the July show. The August show will probably be coming up at the end of August, because they just moved offices and they're putting their new studio together. So it's going to take them a while to get that going. So that's the vMix Diamond Edition, very exclusive. In fact, Martin Sinclair, the proprietor at vMix, said that he's always wanted an edition of vMix that's so exclusive that not even his employees can use it. That's my kind of guy right there. Anyway, keep watching. It'll be fun, and they have a lot of fun with that. The last thing I want to mention is let's talk just briefly about upload speeds. People are telling me, had a great chat in the chat room before the show, and we were comparing notes about upload speeds, and I was complaining because yesterday I had 9 megs up and 9 megs down, and today it went back to 80 megs down and 22 megs up. But really, those numbers are false numbers, and you got to be careful, especially if you're going to do a gig and you're using internet that somebody else is going to let you use, and they say, "Oh yeah, I've got 10 gigs up, no problem." Well, 10 gigs up. Let me bring in this graphic. 10 gigs up is, it fluctuates. It can fluctuate 10, 20% during the course of a minute. So if you've got, that's why the rule is, if you're going to be on the conservative side, the rule is that you say, okay, if you've got 10, then you don't want to use any more than 5, because you're gonna definitely have some ebb and flow of this stuff. It's just not going to be as consistent as the one magic number. So remember that the internet's going to fluctuate. Sometimes it's going to drop down below half. I was talking with the MediaCom guy that I have media cable internet here, and he said, that they guarantee 50% of what they promise. He didn't really say it like that, but that was the essence of it. They guarantee 50% of what they promise. So if I'm paying for something and I'm only getting half of it, well, that's okay. If I get less than half, they'll give me a credit. But the standards are pretty not in our favor. So give yourself some margin, give yourself some buffer, and make sure that you don't pay attention. Well, you don't want that number, that's for sure. But you want to be careful with that. Okay, so we got all that good stuff out of the way. Now let's get down to the good stuff. You remember back on June 22nd, we had Rudy Ellis, the CEO of Switchboard Live here. Now, Switchboard Live, those are the folks that came out with the Joycaster product. Joycaster is that really cool software as a service that allows you to send them one stream, and they'll turn around and restream your one stream to beaucoup other CDNs. Now, it could be free places like YouTube or Ustream or StreamUp, or there's a list of free places. Or, excuse me, it could also be paid CDNs, CDNs that you actually have subscriptions for, and they have added to that stable. And so let's bring in our guest today. Our guest today is Jason Fulbrook, and he is the Director of Digital Growth. Jason, let me get your mic up here, and welcome to the show. Glad to have you on. Oh, golly, did I kill his mic? Jason, are you there? There we go. There we are. Okay, it wasn't my mistake. Yay. Welcome. Glad to have you.
How you doing, guys?
So, Jason, tell me, what does a director of digital growth do?
My role at Switchboard is really responsible for understanding what the business is doing, where we go from a technology standpoint, and how we start to communicate that, partner with people, and integrate with all these different technologies. So when we work with hardware, or we're working with one of the destinations, or just even the different technologies that are involved in making this happen. It's bringing it all together under one little idea, so everyone can understand it, use it, and grow with it.
Gotcha. So you're the one that went and negotiated with YouTube and Ustream and those other bad boys to do the restream thing?
That's definitely part of it, for sure.
Ha! Wow. Wow, that is so cool. So you guys just recently added an extra feature to that whole service. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we recently, we've been working with Facebook to be able to not only provide an integrated solution with them, which is in many different areas, but one of the things that's different with Facebook is that when they first launched it, they had several different rules on what you could do. Duration, you can only stream for 2 hours. You could only, when you stream to Facebook, you can only stream to Facebook. And other things like that, that made it, though the release of Facebook was super exciting and extremely powerful to creators, producers, and just different publishers of all different kinds. But what we do is the syndication approach. Like you said, Tom, being able to take one video feed that's coming in and being able to connect to many different destinations. And so what we were really working with them is not only to get access to be able to do streaming, but also be able to make sure that our integration is very tight and reliable, which is something that's very, very, very different from some technologies that have integrated with Facebook and even other platforms like YouTube, just by way of their API. So making sure that that was very tight, but also talk with them about who our customers are, how people used our technology, and creatively say, I get it, you're Facebook, you have 1,000 requests that are coming in, but if we can do this together and understand what we're doing, I think you'll see that this is what our creators, this is what our producers, this is what our publishers are looking for, and let's get creative and make it happen. So that's really what we've been focusing on to be able to do. So all of that to say, we now have our Facebook Live integration. It's very easy to use. You authenticate right into it. Even if you have to manage multiple Facebook accounts, you're able to go in and connect that. Once you are linked to Facebook with those accounts, you'll never have to log into it again, and then be able to syndicate to all those different channels as well.
Wow. Wow. All right. Now you said Facebook accounts. Does that also mean that you can do multiple Facebook pages?
Yeah. So one of the customers that we've been working with this week is Disney. And Disney, when you think of a place from a publisher's standpoint, they have many different types of properties. So if you think about it, when they release a Facebook page, right, they may make one. They had a movie, Finding Dory, that came out over the summer. So they have a Finding Dory, but then they also have a Finding Dory page, and then they have a Nemo, and then they have all of these types of characters that are involved with it, and all of them come together under one idea, the Disney company, but then also they come together differently based upon the movie or whatever the piece of story that they're trying to share. So what gets shared on Dory's page is different than what's shared on Nemo's page. All of that to say, yes, being able to send video when you're telling a story about those to all those different channels are very important, because I may really like Nemo, but I may not like Dory, or maybe I've never even thought about it. And so when you have these different subscribers that go to these channels, they say, yes, give me more information. The big thing about it is the way that we kind of communicate it to Facebook and different organizations that we work with. We say, we understand that they are your community. Each channel is its own community. They talk to each other differently. They're excited about things differently. And so we want to be able to make sure that our creators can be able to engage with all of their communities and not be limited no matter where they're sending it. So that's one of the big things that we've been working on with Facebook.
Cool. Wow. I think just last week, and in fact, that's what prompted me to try to get you guys on this week. But just last week, I set up an experiment where I streamed directly to 4 different Facebook pages at the same time. So I'm using 4 streams worth of bandwidth, 4 720 streams to 4 Facebook pages. Now it worked. It took me 2 PCs, vMix going on two on one and vMix going two on the other. But I could see where this would be so much easier. So you're saying I can put in all my credentials one time, and then I just choose that. What do you call it with you guys? Is it called a profile or?
It's a profile. We just
Okay.
term it as a destination is what we
Okay.
do. It's just a whether it's Facebook destination 1 or 2. And where that becomes really important from an administrative standpoint is when you are, I'll give you a case in point, with Disney. So they have an administrator who's actually just the operator for the physical event. And he has to, the way that Facebook does their integration, you log in with your own ID, and then you have to get access as an admin to each of the different channels. And so what happens is when you try to authenticate to that, you have to go ahead and connect to multiple destinations, but you have to authorize each of those different spots, right? Or each of those different channels that you want to be able to connect to. So what happens in this case is that not only from a security standpoint can someone who's managing these channels, social media person, just a different admin, depending on the roles, are able to do it. But once you're connected, you can actually then unauthenticate, right, a person's access to the channel to post or publish, except for if they're going to do that through the physical app by way of video streaming. So it's just an additional layer of security, because when you're a publisher, the value of these communities are far greater than, one mistype, can have a massive impact, right?
Right. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. So that's Facebook.
Yep.
That's what you have done.
Yep.
Now, don't give away any trade secrets, of course, but tell us a little bit about the roadmap from here forward for Switchboard Live.
Yeah, so one of the big reasons, and Rudy shared this on the last podcast that he was on, or broadcast, is that, the change from Joycaster to Switchboard. And one of the big reasons for that is Joycaster's real idea was to be able to connect multiple destinations together. But the thing about that is that we've learned by, experiencing all of these broadcasts that we do and being able to get everything together, that there are other things that are a part of the workflow that are really important beyond just the syndication. And so that was really the reason for, the shift to Switchboard, the idea of being able to connect anything in and be able to get it to go anywhere. And so what we have coming up, it's actually slated for Q4 release, end of Q3, end of Q4. We're really looking at about around the October timeframe. We're going to be releasing what we call Switchboard Cloud. And Switchboard Cloud is going to be the primary product that we have, and we're breaking that down into different tiers. We're going to have our creators tier, which is really meant for individuals or professionals like yourself, Tom, that are broadcasting, doing things like this. We're going to have our producer tier that is meant for more specific or more advanced workflows and being able to do that. And with that, what you're going to be able to do is manage multiple inputs that are coming in, going to multiple destinations, be able to have teams of people that can manage a specific syndication. So be able to also to be able to record, archive, publish your video to different destinations, be able to serve on demand, out of it, and also be able to, have that functionality where you're going to all these destinations. What happens when you have a team that needs to work on it? Well, there may be the role of an admin, there may be a role of an operator. Well, their functionality is very different than the role of a producer or someone who is responsible for monitoring their event, or maybe even a social media marketer. And so what we're doing with this is actually expanding that out, giving each of them different roles and functions, and then the ability to be able to understand what's going on. So not only be able to see our likes and dislikes that you have on each of the channels, but also to be able to see how the overall trend of that information is with all of your social reach, being able to have all of that contained inside of a single, platform. And then there's also some production stuff that we're working on. That'll be more towards the beginning part of next year. But the ability to be able to, now that you have all of these inputs and you have them going to all these different destinations, what other fun stuff can we cook up? And so that's really where, Joycaster has evolved into cloud. And Switchboard as a technology is, as you guys may have gone to our website, we really are taking the approach of being Switchboard, we're how you do live.
My mind is just racing with all the possibilities of what you just said, where, one of the applications, and help me steer me on the path if I get off the path. But let's say that I have a company that is responsible for streaming a dozen different sporting events on a Friday night, American football. And so I can stream them to you, and then I can pick and choose, and then I can create a show that goes and taps into each one of those at any point during the course of the game for a live report, and or bringing in the clips from the different broadcasts afterwards. Is that where we're talking about? It takes,
absolutely.
Old people like me, Jason, it takes us a while to absorb new technology and understand it. So you have to kind of break it down into bite-sized, our teeth aren't real good, so you have to break it down into bite-sized chunks so that we can digest it well.
Sure. You're totally on point. The idea is to be able to, if the idea of Joycaster was taking one stream in to be able to connect to multiple destinations, the idea with Switchboard is to be able to take multiple streams in and be able to send it to multiple destinations, and then everything else you need to do in being able to manage, understand, and produce live content.
Awesome. And of course, you already have customers that want this. I mean, you're not just building something hoping that somebody might.
No, this is not only, I think, just from an industry standpoint, something that is paramount, but also I think from an opportunity standpoint, there's several different organizations, whether they are, we find it, whether or not I am, an individual that's just broadcasting content online, to a big publisher. They're looking for the same thing, because it's not just, like we were talking about at the beginning, it's not just about, the value of, now we have Facebook. It's like, well, I have Facebook, I have multiple Facebooks. It is, I also have YouTubes, I have multiple YouTubes, and then, and then beyond that, right? So being able to, do that, and manage that is something that's, very important.
Awesome. Sorry. I can't wait to hear some case studies of folks that are using this, especially not. I am supremely proud of you guys for hooking big fish like Disney, but I'm not Disney. I know that's going to shock some folks, but I'm not Disney. And most of our viewers today are not Disney. They might be. I can tell Rich is on the way. But I want to. I guess what I want to be able to hear is, if you've got a top tier client, I want to hear what some middle to lower tier clients, how they're using that technology, because I think that's going to spur a lot of viewers to this show and say, oh, okay, I get it now. We can do this many in, this many. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
A great example is, as an operator, one of the big things is you have your source side, right? So I have to take all of my, equipment in, right? The fact is that now, right, if you're doing events or you're being able to resource that for, different customers that you're supporting, the big thing about it is now what you're able to do is be able to tie an encoder right to a specific input. And then from an operator standpoint, that can go and field to anybody, right? Now I have an input or a workflow that's set up that says when I take encoder 1 and I want to use that encoder 1 to be able to go to this channel lineup that's already done, boom, I can schedule that content, distribute that. Well, if I have encoder 1, 2, and 3 that needs to do the same thing, that's important. But one of the other things that's really interesting about what we're doing from a design standpoint with cloud is the ability to have multiple users that are accessing this account. I'll go back to the example of if I'm an admin, my role is different from an operator, and my role is different from a social media person, any sort of marketer, and then a different role from a client as well. Well, how many times when you're working with a client, they go, well, how many likes? What was the impact? What was the influence? The ability now is that, we can go ahead and we can get and provide views for all of those people. And you can give that to a client. A client can then look at that, and you don't have to worry about them at all going in and pushing the dreaded red button that they have no idea that they should or should not be pushing, right? So that is something that is also a part of it. Bringing information and understanding to every event. And I think that is, as a streamer, as a broadcaster, this is something that, I've done for, almost 15 years. So through the transition of, video streaming from, the 90s to what it is today, everyone is always asked the question of, well, how'd it go? What was the influence? What was the impact? What could we do better? How do we optimize? Why do we do this? And how do we hone then what our audience not only is looking for, but how can we maximize that engagement, right? And so those are the big things that are a part of it as well. And that is for everybody from a gamer to the biggest publishers on the planet.
Wow. Awesome. Well, I'm excited for you guys, and I can't wait to see how this is going to unfold. Cool.
It's pretty exciting stuff. We're looking forward to it. We've been working on it really hard. Hours of just crunch, build, dev, and everything that goes into it.
Neat. Well, Jason, thank you so much for taking time out to be on the show and talk about this today. I hope you'll hang out for a second because I think the guys would like to chat with you and ask some special questions in the chat room.
Absolutely.
But we're gonna fade out into the tail end of our show here. Thank you for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, the archive, we hope you'll subscribe. A little bit of housekeeping here. Full disclosure, I am a reseller for vMix and VidBlaster and Magwell and PTZ Optics, so if you need anything in those brands, we would be happy to help you. We also have a special deal on PTZ Optics cameras, and I know this sounds like one of Tom's jokes, but it really is true. If you buy 10 PTZ cameras, you get one free. Now, you say, Tom, I don't need 11 PTZ cameras. Well, here's how it works. We're putting together a kind of a buyer's group because we can get special pricing from PTZ Optics if we hit that 10 mark. So if you're interested in a PTZ camera or know somebody that is, shoot me an email. We'll get you in the group and figure out what options you want, all that kind of stuff. And we're beginning to get our numbers. So you might be the number that puts us over the top. And the way it'll work is that we'll end up buying 11. Well, I guess we could just buy 10. Anyway, it'll work out at about a 10% discount, but don't tell anybody because we're not allowed to give discounts on that kind of stuff. So that's coming up. And if you're interested, if you can't wait for something like that, then shoot me an email. We'll shoot you a PTZ Optics camera right now. We won't charge you for shipping. That's the special. We'll say that the new vMix Mouse pads are up, and if you would like one, send a note to I want a mouse pad at vmix.com, and they will send you one. It's that simple. From anywhere in the world, I want a mouse pad at vmix.com, and they will do that. So I think that's all my notes here. Yep. So if you're watching us live, hang around for the post-show. Apparently Jerry was the last one here, so he's bringing refreshments to post-show. Jerry, you better get started making those refreshments right now. But thanks for watching. We'll be back again next week with more great stuff about streaming. So stay tuned. We'll see you then. And we are out. All right. Thanks for hanging around, Jason. Did I lose your audio? Jason, testing 1, 2, 3.
There.
Oh, there he is. Okay, very good.
All right, perfect.
Very good. All right, George is still waiting on his vMix mousepad. Well, George, you haven't been living at home. It's probably sitting on your doorstep. Let's see. Guys, have y'all got some questions for Jason about the Facebook part, which, of course, has just recently happened, or that which is forthcoming? What are y'all calling this new feature? Jason, I didn't even think to ask. I'm sorry.
It's just going to be part of what's in Switchboard Cloud.
Cloud. Got it. Okay. All right. Got it. Well, George says it's a great show with Jason from Switchboard. Thank you, George. That's great. A comment there that I'm not Mickey. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I am definitely not Mickey Mouse. There's no doubt about that.
I saw a question earlier. I'm not sure who said it. I was trying to scroll back about specifically to Facebook and stream keys. I can't easily find that question.
Yeah, that was early on.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find that.
So guest 180 asks is there a limit to the number of Facebook destinations that you can add? The way that we do that is just based on the account level that you're at, right? So as a producer, which is our tier, it starts with 5 and then it goes up to 25 that you can add and manage, just depending on the situation and workflow. But that is based on the number of active instances that you're doing. Theoretically, you can add unlimited number of destinations, to your account. It's just how many you're using at that specific broadcast.
All right, here's your question. Kent asked it. Will Switchboard have a way to connect to Facebook Live without creating an event stream key each time I go live?
Okay.
Did you get that?
Yeah, that's what it was. So
Yeah.
basically, there actually is some logic to that. So what happens is, the way that Facebook is done is that when you're generating a new stream key, that is posting to your page, and then what happens with that is the way that the API works is then they archive that, made available for VOD, but then they also notify your user base. So that's the reason for all of those things to occur inside of a single time. You could go ahead and create a custom RTMP through either our technology or something else, maybe a source encoder, to be able to, let me make sure I'm saying this the most clear way, to be able to use that same stream key over and over again, as long as you do what Facebook calls continuous streaming. And the continuous streaming is something that uses the same stream key. Kind of the originating intent from Facebook was for, channels like the nature channel, right? That may want to, put something on, a bird's nest or something like that. It streams all the time. And so in this case, their logic around it is that they're not going ahead and shutting it down. It is on all the time. So what happens is it never archives and it does not notify your audience. So that was kind of a more thorough way of saying yes, yes, no, right? Yes, you can do it with the continuous streaming. The no is, hey, it may not be the best thing for your audience, just by way of the notification and then archival.
Right. Got it. So from the switchboard, the Joycaster standpoint, we're gonna create this connection one time.
Yeah.
And if I stream to it today and then I stop and then I stream to it again next week, I don't have to go in and create a new key.
You don't have to authenticate to that account, but you will be making a new event.
Okay.
If you have it, when you authorize your account to it, you want it to post to that specific page. If you make that event for continuous streaming, then you wouldn't have to.
Okay. Okay. So that's part of the API that you guys have got figured out already. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I see some questions here about the duration. So it was 90 minutes. Facebook was pretty lean on that right out of the gate. They kind of opened it up to about 2 hours. We were seeing some users being able to broadcast for as much as 2.5 hours. They recently opened it up to about 4 hours. I mean, it's not for sure. It's not like it's a hard stop. So if you're at 359.99, then, you're going to be cut off. We've seen people go longer, but some people have gone as long as 6 and 8 hours. Their general rule right now is you can stream for 4 hours or do continuous streaming.
That's cool. That's cool. All right.
Let's see. Question from Kent. I have an annual account right now, but Switchboard doesn't allow me to use the Facebook destinations. So Kent, I would say in that case, I don't know what type of account you're on. Right now, if there is an issue, right, I'll give you my email address here, right in this, and you can just email me and we'll figure out, what's going on and make sure that for some reason that your account just isn't at the wrong level or there's a hiccup or whatever it may be, just to make sure that you're getting the most out of your service. So yeah, just go ahead and email me and we'll take care of it right away.
Kent asks great questions, by the way. So you will benefit from those, Jason, because he'll give you great user feedback.
Cool. That's super helpful.
Yeah, Kent's a good guy. Kent has been with us since the early days when this show was That VidBlaster Guy.
Wow.
Back in way back in 2012. Yeah. Here's another one. Guest 180 has got he's got a whole bunch of questions, but he's a very curious guy.
Let's see. How do I get my multicam broadcast on Facebook Live, ma'am? I see there are a lot of TV stations and some businesses that appear. Let me look to make sure I'm seeing the same thing. Oh, I understand. So with this is really a Facebook thing. There's nothing that we can do about specifically promoting or making sure it's there. The way that I understand this is that it is just it's a general thing that's going on, or more of a snapshot of events that are happening, unless there's some sort of prominence to it. Like right now, the first thing that came up is, Fox News and, Trump doing some sort of, broadcast. So that would be an example of something that'd be prominent that you'd be finding. But I really think that this is just a snapshot, not even an accurate, number of, broadcasts that are going on, because it would be just silly to be able to, pick out that, one needle in the entire haystack.
You guys got to remember that Jason, I'm sure, is delighted to answer your Facebook questions, but he doesn't represent Facebook. He's the Switchboard guy. Because Jen's got a question. Does Facebook support multi-camera broadcast?
So if you mean my multi-camera broadcast, is that being able to switch in between? Maybe you could expand a little bit more into the multi-camera broadcast.
I think he means multiple streams, multiple simultaneous. I mean, because anybody can just use vMix or other competitive programs and stream and switch cameras all day long.
You can. Facebook itself is very specific on their approval process for apps that are allowed to be able to do multiple streaming. We do have that integration with them, multicam, like using vMix. So yes, you can publish to multiple destinations, but Tom, I maybe let you jump in on that one.
Well, I think we're getting confused.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. As of right now, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Ultimately, your question, yeah.
So if you've got multiple cameras and you don't have vMix and you want to be able to switch cameras, you can't do that with Facebook Live.
Like if you were doing a rock and roll show, is that what you're kind of meaning, right? I have a camera on the singer, the guitarist, the drummer, and the keyboardist, and being able to have all of those in there. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything like that with Facebook as of now.
Yeah, to use Facebook as a switcher. Yeah, I don't think so either. Right. Rich says, can you provide a good example of a major broadcast that Switchboard has done? Rich, I think he could, but then he'd have to kill you.
Yeah. No, I'm really happy to share. I'll give you kind of a whole story around this one, because there's several different broadcasts that are going on. I did mention Disney. They do have some stuff that's coming on, but I'll give you guys something that really was just an eye-opening moment to the power of these communities and different destinations. We supported several different broadcasts over E3 conference this year. And if you guys aren't familiar directly with E3, E3 is a very large gaming conference. And, right now, I'll give you some fun facts. Over half of the internet traffic that actually is being used is video. And actually that number is higher and being very conservative. But the interesting thing about that is 50% of video that is actually traversing the internet that is live is done by gamers. And so this E3 conference is a huge conference for the gaming community, right? Big announcements, these huge publishers that are coming in and sharing. And so at E3 this year, we worked in collaboration with a production company and that was doing all of the multi-camera capture, the lighting, the audio, and everything that was actually at the specific venue, and worked with a publisher you guys are going to know very easily, EA. And so we did a broadcast, and we connected to several different destinations here globally, in North America. We connected into then 5 different international destinations where we're actually taking that broadcast out from a very small form factor encoder, and we were broadcasting that into Switchboard, authenticated to all of their different destinations. We actually had the video then coming down to each international region and being overdubbed in that language and then being broadcasted out to several of those different destinations. And that was a really premier broadcast. Yielded for them, the numbers were in the millions. It was hundreds of thousands concurrent viewers. And the average view time was actually right at 15 minutes. It was 13.38 or something. And the important thing about that is, the typical view time for an audience, on average in a scale is, somewhere between 2 and 7 minutes, right? So to be able to get to that, 10-minute counter or plus 10-minute counter was enormous. And we ultimately, without saying the specific numbers, we increased well over 10 times from what they had the previous year. And from a competitive standpoint, for another publisher that was going on at the same event, just to give you an idea, they had only 400,000 was their peak. And we delivered for these guys multiple millions. So that's an impact of, not only the size of the audience, but also the responsibility of the publisher, also realizing the value of all of their different destinations that they were engaging.
Awesome.
It was a premium event for sure.
Indeed.
But besides that, Switchboard, we measure things in minutes because of the range of different broadcasts. We serve millions and millions of minutes a month just through our platform, and that doesn't count for the viewers. So we're not even counting how many people, are watching your channel right now, Tom. We would just count the amount of time that you're actually broadcasting from in to the specific destination.
Right.
So yeah, that gives you a little bit idea of the type of audience, and also the value of being able to really engage with all of these different destinations.
Cool. Ty has got a question. Ty is IPTV Newswire, by the way. Welcome, Ty. We're glad you're here. Ty says, and we may have to get some clarification on this question, how are the new tools going to work with IPTV, such as Roku and other OTT devices?
Yeah, so as we continue to advance the platform, OTT is going to be a very important part of it. The reason for that is we understand that as an OTT provider, right, you need to be able to manage your multiple inputs together, assign a workflow, and assign different types of destinations. So in that case, right, what you're going to be able to do is completely engage with that. One of the destinations that we're working with, we've actually, launched, it's been a soft launch for us because we want to be very specific how we're doing it, but we do offer, delivery services right now. But ultimately what we'll do is have integrations into Roku and Apple TV as well. So like for the Olympics right now, we're working with some of the production companies that are out there, and we're doing syndication that is going to, their www, they're going to their app, and then they're going to Apple TV. Maybe Roku went on for this, I don't know, but I know for sure it's Apple TV, www, and an app. So in this case, right there, just being able to do that, all of that is what we kind of term internally as performance delivery. And we kind of dictate that separately because, when I go to YouTube, even though they're one of the world's largest delivery networks, the thing is that's a YouTube feed. It's public. You have to adhere to their rules. Where if I need to be able to, play a certain song, or I want to capture something like this, or I want to even put a paywall or anything else that's in front of it, or integrate with, other OTT devices like, Roku's or Bright Signs or whatever digital signage applications may even be a part of it, I need to use a performance network just by nature of that flexibility to connect. So yes, is the answer. We're doing that now, and it'll be more feasible to manage that, in the future.
All right, good answer. Let's see. Rich has got sort of a general question, which I'm not sure he was addressing to you, Jason, or just to everybody in general. Do you know how much the Olympics is impacting live streaming in general in terms of bandwidth and latency for others? Have you got a guess on that?
You know, one of the interesting things, there was a broadcast, there's a company out of Sao Paulo that we started working with. And, there they have about 100 meg circuit. And that 100 meg circuit, that they were using, and they're contracted by a publisher to be able to put on a broadcast for regionally and do that. And one of the big things about that is just by nature of their location, internet isn't, well, it's not very good. It's not very reliable. High latency, very high latencies, in this case. So, for them, I'll kind of share with you what I know, as fact, and then, we can kind of talk generally about, what these big broadcasters are doing. But in this case, right, leveraging, just by nature of region, they went to just one destination. By leveraging our technology, because we have a global infrastructure that is fully AB redundant, meaning that if there's a request that comes in and there's some sort of even internet fail, right, it will be able to swap over into something different. But in this case, right, actually had a reduction on our latency by several seconds. I think it was, in this case, they actually were typically at about 30 seconds, and we brought them sub 10 seconds, in this case, just by, syndicating, using our platform. In regards to, the Olympics and live streaming, a lot of these broadcasts that are going on from there, though they are reliant on IP traversal, are all actually a majority of them. I was watching, Disney or the NBC, through my app today, just trying to get involved with the spirit of the Olympics. And all of that is, actually coming through satellite broadcasts that are then coming down to regional centers that are then handling that traversal, and they do that regionally. So in this case, it's already part of their infrastructure to be able to do it, and then they serve it based upon the lowest request or the closest request. Many years ago, I was involved in coordinating the infrastructure for iStream Planet specifically, and their involvement with the Olympics. And being able to do it, it was pretty fantastic. Being able to bring everything back into a head end, and then have that syndicate so that requests would happen locally to decrease that latency, and also maximize the viewing experience.
Cool. All right. John's got a question. This is a switchboard question. It says, have you made any decision on how to make the price model for the transcoding service, if not free?
Yeah. So right now, transcoding is free. We're doing that, really to be able to, capture insight, from people, see how they're using it, because we're really trying to approach our workflows very differently than, a traditional sense. So, in this case, right, a traditional sense would be I would send out multiple streams from my source, or if I'm using some cloud transcoding, right, I'm sending that to one specific spot. For us, we connect to all these spots. So we wanted to see, what happens when, when we're using it to these different areas. So, or syndicating to multiple destinations. So what we're doing is we've made that for free. With the launch of cloud, what we'll be doing is there will be a usage fee that's around the transcoding, ultimately, but it's something that we are doing everything that we possibly can through our development to try to bring that cost as low as possible, and be able to do that. For one of the things I didn't really even talk about is the fact that we have our API. And our API, we actually have, based upon volume, we have pricing that supports as low as a quarter an hour for transcoding. So yeah, we're definitely working on ways to be able to offer transcoding at a level that can be gobbled up inside of an event, or justified through a regular workflow, and be seen as a value add and a cost reduction.
Good answer. Good answer. All right. Well, let's see if we've got anybody else. Are you guys talked out? Or just getting started? Just about to hit your second wind. Okay. We have about an 11-second latency between you and I being live and the time they hear what we say. And some of those guys, they're really, really old, and it takes them a long time to process things. One of the interesting things that I've noticed, Jason, a lot of the cool tools going out today, really seem to be kind of geared towards that 18 to 25 crowd. And what I find in my business is the 18 to 25 crowd is broke. They don't have any money.
That's right.
They can't buy what my company is providing. I mean, they can't write a check for a $1,900 PTZ camera, or a $3,000 to $5,000 custom streaming PC. And so what I find is a lot of my clients are gray hairs. That they've got the interest. They're techies. They're geeks. They have been since the MS-DOS days. But they're now in a position where they can write the checks to go along with it. So it's really been an interesting journey.
Sure.
Let's see. All right, John's got another question. Several streaming platforms he's used wanted payments by the hour for transcoding, or in chunks of 2, 6, 12, or 24 bundles. Interesting.
Yeah. So what we're focusing on is we're doing it on the we're going to be doing it on the hour, and you have unlimited resolution. I think right now, we're able to provide support up to 4K. Wow. In that, so you can set up whatever you need, and our whole model is going to be pay as you go. So there'll be a license fee that's associated to be able to use the platform, which we are doing everything we can to bring that cost down, and have different tiers that are compelling for what people need to do, what type of function. To your point, Tom, right? The difference, when you asked, well, I just need to be able to do this show in comparison to what Disney needs, right? So it having that, that range of functionality that's just required by different scales of organizations in that case. But ultimately, it'll be just based on the hour. We also are working on just an unlimited streaming for people to be able to just have it and do it. But that's something that, as we continue to get information about how people are using it, transcoding is just a really expensive thing to do. So trying to be able to, reduce that cost and make it available to everybody, is something that is very much so on our minds.
All right. Good answer. Just wanted to send this up for Martin S. Right there in the middle is us, Martin. And we are surrounded by rain showers beating us up and flooding us out. Is Martin S. It's late where he is, and he's old, and sometimes he falls asleep early. So I think he's probably 35. He's getting on up there. Oh, gee whiz.
Kent asked a question, the difference in the dashboard. If I could show you guys what Switchboard Cloud is going to be in comparison to Joycaster, you would absolutely, just the experience is so different. It is designed on workflow. It's designed to be able to drill all the way into the technical elements of it and be able to zoom all the way out to get that information. It is sleek, it is clean, and I mean, I'm for sure biased, but it is beautiful. It is an absolutely beautiful experience. It is so simple to manage multiple inputs. The drag and drop functionality, the queuing, the viewing, the automation of that is simple, it is slick, and it's clean. It's great.
All right. What else? Oh, Martin's there. He woke up. Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, guys, we're gonna let Jason off the hook because he's overstayed his welcome anyway. No, Jason, what a treat! Thank you so much for taking time out to be with us this afternoon. Really,
Thank
really
you,
was
Tom.
great.
Pleasure talking with you guys. You have my email. Feel free to reach out, directly. If you have any questions at any time, and we can go from there.
Yeah, I'll definitely be getting back with you and Rudy. You know, give you some time, 3 months, something like that. Kind of get an update on where you are and bring you guys back on the show again. We'd love to follow your story. It's a great story.
Cool. Great. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful
Good.
afternoon, evening,
All right.
and good night.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Well, so long. That was a great meeting, huh? Jason, very knowledgeable guy. Gee whiz. Much smarter than Rudy. Golly. Oh, gosh. And I think we're getting it, as you could tell, we're getting absolutely besieged here. And I think I'm gonna get off the line before one of those thunderstorms rolls right in and knocks out all the power. But I sure do appreciate you guys popping in today. I want to give a word of thanks to many of you. Well, heck, probably to all of you. You may have seen it or may not. We just hit 400,000 views on YouTube, and that's really I'm just overwhelmed and honored. Our subscriber number is continuing to grow. I think we're over 2,200, something like that. It really is important to us, and if you haven't subscribed, obviously we'd like you to. And if you know somebody that you think would be interested, shoot them our URL, easternshorebroadcasting.com, or send them something. Just let them know that we're there, because streaming is going to be good stuff for the future. And if you've got a passion for anything, this is the right way to go. So thank you so much for taking time to tune in. And let's see, what did Martin say? Love that picture. Yeah, I don't know where those cliffs are, but I stole this picture from somewhere and then faded it a little bit. So very good, very good. Guys, it was great to be with you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next show. And I'm going to just throw in some background music because I know there's a delay, and it will continue. Otherwise, it'll cut your feed right off the bat. So here's a little fresh and fun.